What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. Hope everyone has had a great start to the week and a great Tuesday. You guys know what time it is. It's never too early for another live 2025 fantasy football mock draft with you guys with the Catch fam. So we got 2 spots open. The link is on Discord. I will send the link in the YouTube chat momentarily. And you guys know what we're going to do. Going to have some fun. Going to talk some fantasy football. Pete's in the house. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm actually in the draft this time, so ready to rock and roll. But yeah, what do we have to talk about? It's been a little bit, I think. Flag football and Brock Purdy, I guess. Brock Purdy, the biggest news probably for fantasy.
Yeah, I did end up doing an Underdog stream Saturday night, and I went on some Brock Purdy rants. You know, that's my guy. So, other than that, yeah, I mean, there has been nothing that has occurred other than maybe some speculation somewhere, because we're at that point in the off season where things are boring until mini camp starts. So
push, maybe it's getting some legs. Sounds like it may or may not be banned. I don't know. Leaning ban, I hear, but that definitely impacts Jalen Hurts at least.
Good for Saquon, bad for Jalen Hurts.
Great for Saquon.
Yeah. Good for Will Shipley, bad for Jalen Hurts. That's about it. All right, let me get the link sent in the YouTube chat. We just need one more to join, then we'll set the draft order and we'll get going. I am still dealing with being sick or whatever, so sorry if I sound like crap tonight. FYI. All right, let's see. Let's set the draft order. We are filled.
Oh, and nice.
Wow. Okay. This is not rigged, I promise. And let me send out the final warnings and we'll get going. I don't know. Who is this in Sleeper telling me what to do? Telling me to change it to 30 seconds. No one's going to take 60 seconds anyways. All right. Let's start. Let's do it. I'm at the 1.1. Who do I want? Wide receiver or running back here? I will always hate the 1.1. You know what?
Sure.
I'll just go to make it easy. Let's start with the receiver. All right. We are rolling, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see. Kat says, you didn't mention Pete was coming on. I'm leaving. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, Kat. Getting ready for Christmas? Got a big Christmas game this year.
Oh yeah, Vikings Lions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about them announcing the Vikings 6-11 record? I mean, announcing the schedule. Oh gosh.
I mean, a win in Chicago and the Vikings probably start 5-0 again.
Yeah.
So there's that. If they win at Chicago Monday night, they're probably 5-0 again. Bengals in Minnesota, not scary. Atlanta on a Sunday night, not scary. Ireland versus the Steelers, London versus the Browns. Oh no, I'm quaking in my boots for Will Howard.
Ooh.
So scared.
Hey, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, sure. Oh, great. We already beat him in London last year. We'll beat him in Dublin this year.
Yeah. Anything stand out substantially outside of the Vikings in terms of the schedule?
Yeah, no primetime games for the Titans, Saints, or Browns. And so Cam Ward, like Tony Pollard, a lot of noon games. That's fun. A lot of tough primetime spots for our Kansas City Chiefs fantasy stock. No, but not, other than that, it was kind of like a standard. The schedule's getting kind of standard these days.
The Giants have the toughest schedule of any team.
That's based on last year's record, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I think
glad they
Lions are
closed out.
second. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Lions are second. So
I think I don't remember anything off the top of my head, but yeah, the best point is when you see that rating, it's always based off of last season. And who knows? Half those teams could end up being way worse this season. So we'll find out. But yeah, we broke down a bit of the schedule last stream as well, and specifically week 17 because of best ball and all that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the Eagles have a ton of primetime games,
mm-hmm.
which I guess makes sense. But I kind of worry about whenever a team gets a ridiculous amount of primetime games because when like the Broncos got all those primetime games and they sucked with Russell Wilson, and
So
then
the Falcons are going to be that team. It's going to be the Falcons and the Dolphins are going to be that team that
well, like
they're always on primetime and they're bad. Those I think are the bad teams that are going to be on primetime a
and
lot this year.
I think about the Jets, like they got a ton of primetime games the first year with Rodgers, and then he, played 3 snaps or whatever. So I always wonder, who's going to be that team who gets hit with a ton of these big anticipated games, and then something changes, and then we're stuck. So Falcons, Dolphins, your predictions? Fair enough.
Yeah, because I saw the Dolphins have like 3 or 4. The Falcons have 5 primetime games. So that's a team that I think could be teetering. Now, obviously, like quarterback injury to the Chiefs, quarterback injury to the Eagles, probably a little bit of a downgrade. The Lions, they have a bunch of primetime games too. I'm sure we don't quite know what the Lions are going to look like.
Yeah, I think that whole division is just so interesting because obviously no more Ben Johnson for the Lions. How much of an impact is that actually going to have? Packers are the Packers.
It feels like the Packers didn't get any better or any worse this
I would
season.
I,
It's like,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
what are the Packers? The Lions probably got worse. The Vikings got better as a team, but they're starting a first time quarterback.
Yeah.
And the Bears, like, we don't know if Ben Johnson could be head coach. Like, that's like the
Yeah.
big question.
Yeah. The Bears are intriguing. I mean, they added some weapons, right? Offensive line got a lot of upgrades in the offseason. So I feel like that division could be ready for a little bit of a reset, so to speak. And yeah, like I want to like the Packers a lot, but they just showed that like they want to run the football last year. But also like Jordan Love was hurt early. I don't know. But it's really going to come down to Matthew Golden, I feel like, in that offense, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm ready for it to start. We still gotta wait like a ridiculous amount of time. So
Yeah, 3-4 months.
see. I I don't know what boat you're in, but like Cowboys Eagles to start the season, I'm kind of like my first reaction was like the Cowboys are gonna get smacked around, and now I'm kind of like I think the Cowboys will be a little bit better than maybe some are thinking, but I don't think that they're gonna like be able to compete with the Eagles. I just
What does
don't.
Dak look like? Like, Dak could look horrible. Who
Yeah,
knows? Like, first game back, Dak could struggle. The offensive line's kind of, I don't know, a question mark for Dallas. It could
no.
be a lot of no run game, drop back, Dak's getting hit. We hope he gets the ball to CD and it gets real ugly real fast in Philly.
Yeah. I just that Eagles defense is still like so deep. I think the Cowboys offense is going to be better this year than some people are anticipating, but I don't know if they're going to be that way week 1. So, we'll find out. But you got some good games week 1. Oh wait, that's right. We have like a Friday game every week 1 now too. Like what is this?
Brazil. It's Brazil.
Mm.
And I think next year is going to be Australia. It's going to be Australia next year, I think. That Friday game.
It's just weird. But Chiefs Chargers, I mean, that should be good, right?
Yeah, depends if the field's better or not than last year.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, a lot of divisional games week 1 too. Giants Commanders, let's go. Easy dub. Start the season.
Easy dub.
I actually think that we could easily lose to the Giants week 1. We'll find out. We, as in me being a Commanders fan, who the Vikings play week 1? The
At the
Bears.
Bears Monday Night Football.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
First Monday night game of the season. Ravens Bills is the first Sunday night game. At least we get that. The afternoon slate for Sunday's pretty good. Texans, Rams, Lions, Packers, Titans, Broncos, Niners, Hawks. Wow, the Bengals play the Browns. Oh, I'm on the clock. Okay. Raiders.
The Bengals are so bad at the beginning of the season. It's another team that they should kill that they'll probably lose to week 1.
That's true.
Stupid way.
I think I'm gonna go 0 running back tonight.
Well, I took Bucky, so you're not. I took that off the table for you. No Tampa Bay running backs.
I can't draft T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
I mean, you can, but you probably shouldn't. It's not advisable.
I just want to go heavy wide receiver right here. I'll go JSN and Garrett Wilson.
Okay, so then that means I will draft T. Higgins.
It's a good pick for you. All right, 3 rounds in. Sorry, we've just kind of been rambling. Albert, what's going on, man? J-Dub says trust in Ben.
Well, the quarterback doesn't want to play for them. He wants to play in Minnesota.
Yeah. And hey, what's this? Why is there's this clip from Kevin O'Connell being cut by the Jets when he was a player? Oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? What is happening?
Oh, we got to troll. Look at those first 2 picks.
I didn't even see the other one. It's all right. I'll handle it. We've been through much worse.
True.
I think I have to pause the draft to kick somebody. Oops. I'll leave it and I'll fix the picks.
Stick it on auto.
Yeah, I don't think you can kick someone until the draft is over.
Lame.
I think I can do it on my phone. We'll figure it out. I did not see the Henry Ruggs pick.
Hey, he's coming back, I heard.
I heard that too. That might be a thing. Let's see. I'm trying to figure this out. Remove. I did it.
Nice.
I think.
No.
Oh.
Still here.
Maybe I did it wrong. I think you had to hit save or something. Hold on, I'm coming. All right.
See, listen to everybody now.
This is actually a good refresher on how to do this. So this is practice. All right, there we go. Didn't hit save. Okay, we're good. All right, back to business, boys and girls. Can't wait for the Pickens touchdown in the 4th to cut the lead to 23.
Is this before or after he gets in a fight with Cooper DeJean for no reason whatsoever?
Yeah. Well, if they're losing by that much, maybe it's warranted. But
Yeah.
yeah, but we also have seen like some of these opening games, like sometimes the Super Bowl, like what the Lions Chiefs that was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
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 What was the opening game last year? Chiefs Ravens. That's what it was.
Chiefs Ravens, and that was a
Chiefs
good game.
Chiefs basically lost that game. Um, if Isaiah Likely could stay in bounds.
They still had to get a 2-point conversion too.
That's right. It was close enough. Like every Chiefs game last year, or
Yeah,
most of them.
always, except for the Super Bowl.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I don't know. Cowboys might be able to do something. We'll speculate on this game for months and months, but right now I'm leaning Eagles. Like if I had to place bets right now, I definitely bet on the Eagles, the Cardinals at the Saints.
Jesus, that's a yikes kind of
Yeah.
game right there.
I will tell you guys right now, I'm streaming the Cardinals defense week 1.
Yeah,
No offense to Tyler Shuck.
good job.
I would I don't know if I'll ever bet on the Commanders when they play an NFC East team, but I like the Commanders over the Giants. Yeah, I do think that the Giants will be surprising at times this year.
What are we gonna
But
get out of Russell Wilson? We're assuming Russell's gonna
no,
start week
once
1.
Jackson Dart is starting, the Giants are going to be
We're,
good. Yeah,
yeah, we're waiting
yeah,
for Dart.
yeah. I think I would lean. I think I would take the Bengals over the Browns, but like you said, Bengals early, and they're on the road.
At least it's the Browns though. Like Joe
Yeah,
Flacco, quarterback, Kenny Pickett, division game. They'll, I don't know. Feel like they'll
yeah.
be engaged at least.
Flacco does scare me against the Bengals defense. That's the thing too. Like the NFL is just like you just never know, man. I'll take the Broncos at home against the Titans week 1 though.
That's a tough first start for Cam Ward.
Yeah. And it's when anytime a team has to travel to Denver, it's just tough. Tough place to play.
Denver's
Altitude.
defense is about to be a problem. I think they're going to be
Yeah.
the don't play against Denver's defense team.
Yeah. Already a problem last year. They
Mhm.
took a
And they only
corner.
got better. They
Yeah.
definitely got better too, especially on the back end.
Yeah. Other than that, though, Raiders, Patriots, I might lean the Pats at home, but I think the Raiders are capable of being the Pats too. So that's about it. Bucks, Falcons. I might take the
Fun.
Bucks.
That's a fun game though. Didn't
Yeah.
they score 400 points against each other last year?
Yeah.
In those 2 games.
Only time Kirk Cousins played football last year
True.
against the
No, he played
Bucks.
that 4th quarter against the Eagles,
That's
like
true.
week 2 or week 3, and beat the Eagles in that 1 quarter.
Yeah. That bomb to Darnell Mooney at the end of that game.
Mooney, yeah.
Panthers, Jags is kind of interesting, but I don't think I'd bet on that game either. Dolphins, Colts. See, like, I don't trust either of those teams. I lean the Dolphins, but I don't know. Steelers, Jets is just gross. A lot of weird
Gross.
games week 1. We'll see. All right. Jadeb says hit the like. I'm on the clock. Should probably pick. It's weird because my screen was showing. One of my screens was showing that you were on the clock. The other one was showing that say flowers had been picked. Anyways, all right. I guess I guess I'm going true 0 running back.
Ugh.
Why does everyone hate Devonta Smith? Like, what is the beef?
Fair.
All right, I got to hammer out running backs for it's gonna get really gross.
I should just draft a running back just to.
You should.
Just gets even worse. No, but I kind of wanted to go there.
I probably should have gone double running back, but we'll see. My wide receiver 1, 2, And both my flexes are filled. So we'll see. Chase, good to see you. What's up, man? Taylor gang, what's up? What's up? Good to see everybody. Jason says Monty RB1. Yeah, not ideal. I like his value there, but not ideal. But going zero running back, test it out. I think the last couple drafts either went hero running back or something close to it. So trying to switch it up, see what happens for the sake of research. Monty was RB1 in like half my leagues last year. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Monty had a great year last year until he got hurt. He was like trailing Gibbs by like 2 spots in scoring like all season long until he got hurt. So, as a matter of fact, Monty getting hurt like violently hurt 2 of my playoff teams last year. Just so reliable. And I really don't feel like he's going to be utilized any differently this year, unless he gets hurt. Cameron says 0 RB is the truth. That is, that's your thing, man. Yeah, running backs definitely went crazy last year. But try and think of like if you went 0 running back. I mean, he could have still ended up with like Chuba Hubbard, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of that's going to be waiver wire moves too, but
that's part of the no running back build. That's part of the waiver hawk.
Tyrone Tracy, and like Brian Robinson and DeAndre Swift. There are names. But yeah, it's like it's just so funny because I remember like 2 years ago, maybe like everyone was just set on like wide receivers only in fantasy or some sort of balance that was tilted towards wide receiver heavy rosters. And like now after last year, it's like right back to, how things were like 6, 7, 8 years ago where people like, no, like you need draft 4 starting running backs no matter what. And I think it's more about balance than anything, personally. Very hard to predict what's going to happen this coming season. Jason, love to have you in the next one. I'll send out the Discord invite in the YouTube chat in a second for anyone who doesn't have it. It's going to be the best way for you guys to know when we're drafting and to get the draft invite. Devonta won me a league with Kenny Pickett throwing the ball. Yeah, like the last mock draft I did, I was like contemplating drafting Jerry Jeudy as my wide receiver 4, and I drafted like Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, and Zay Flowers. And someone left me a comment like saying Jeudy was better than all of those bums at wide receiver I drafted. And I'm like, the Zay Flowers, I can get the argument for sure. I still like Flowers where he's going. But I'm like, why is every offseason why is Devonta Smith like the most hated man in fantasy football? I don't get it.
Because the Eagles people don't feel like the Eagles throw the ball enough, I don't think.
Yeah. Maybe like if you're not in a full PPR league, but I don't know. He had a huge Super Bowl, which helps something.
It feels like it's matchup dependent though, right? Because there's just going to be some weeks where the Eagles literally refuse to throw the football, which hurts. And then there's other weeks where it's like AJ Brown's throwing a hissy fit. We got to throw him the ball 15 times.
We still averaged 15.3 fantasy points per game, which.
Well, when he gets it, Devonta has big games when it's time to eat.
What was his best points per game in the last, it was better than last year and the year before. So I will just always be defending Devonta Smith. Can win anything if you make the right picks. This is true. But heavy early running back was definitely most optimal last year. I can agree with that. That's fair. That's fair. It's really easy to sit back and say, well, if you drafted this guy, and this guy, but how often did that actually happen? Probably not
Where
too
was that?
often.
Where was that guy going? Like,
Yeah. See. Jason, what's going on, man? Brenton Strange breakout this year. 200 evaded targets with Ingram and Kirk gone. And I like Ingram as a number 2 target for Bo in Denver. Yeah, we've talked about both of those tight ends a bit on stream as of late. And I would say I like Brenton Strange because Trevor Lawrence has shown that he likes to throw to the tight end position. And there's still some risk there, but there's not really like anyone on that roster who I feel like is going to absolutely take away those potential targets in terms of the tight end position. And I guess, like Travis Hunter is going to take some of those targets, you would assume, in terms of the evaded targets. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of room for Brenton Strange. And I love Evan Ingram this year. I'm a Marvin Mims believer for whatever reason. But if Ingram ends up with the second most targets in that offense, I would not be shocked in any way possible. So feel good about the Broncos offense as a whole going into the year. And I think Ingram, I definitely agree, will be a big part of that for sure. Jason won with Barkley, A-Chain, Mixon, and Kamara last year. Yeah, and I mean, Kamara was going pretty dang late in drafts last year. He's going later than he's going this season. But the rest, I mean, probably came out the gate with Barkley, A-Chain, Mixon as your first 3 picks, unless you maybe got Mixon in the 4th. But definitely a good team. Congrats on a championship last year. Who's your dark horse for wide receiver 1 for both of you? Well, I feel like it's like hard to really like at the end of the day, it's still it's hard not to pick somebody who's going in the first round still, Like it's easy to say if it's not Chase, JJ Lamb,
like
it could be
Nico. Would you want to say like a guy who went 112? Like Nico was on that pace last year before he got hurt.
yeah.
Um, like JSN maybe, or
Yeah. Yeah, I think
yeah,
like
but it's the top dogs.
if we made the challenge of like you have to pick somebody from the 2nd round or later just based on this draft board. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Drake London buzz right now. Do I think London can get enough to be wide receiver 1?
Bijan just poaches too much,
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing. Like he doesn't have a ton of stiff competition, in my opinion, in terms of pass catchers around him. But the red zone upside is limited because of Bijan. And that's not like a knock on Darnell Mooney, or it's still kind of a knock on Kyle Pitts, but it's like I could, but like wide receiver 1 is tough.
How
Like
about like Scary Terry or like a Rasheed Rice if he's like healthy and has a bounce back like offenses, because Terry had the crazy touchdown streak for a minute there, and
yeah,
maybe they just red zone feed him.
it's really tough because like I feel like with wide receiver 1, like you just need a lot of volume,
It's
L-
it's not like running back. Like running back, we
no.
could have RB1 or RB2 that comes out of nowhere, like not a first or a second round running back. Wide
Yeah,
receivers tend to be these top 5 guys, top 6 guys.
yeah. Like I could see Brian Thomas Jr. finishing as a wide receiver 1, or Malik Neighbors but that's like not even like that crazy to say at this point in the offseason. Nico Collins, I think, is being a little bit like disrespected. I think AJ Brown is too, but the thing with the Eagles offense is like Barkley and Hurts limit that upside, and Devonta Smith too, for that matter. So, but I feel like Nico and London sometimes go outside the first round, but they're basically both first rounders. So I don't know if I've in any way answered this question, but maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown, because I feel like every year he has the chance to do it, because he's just gets an insane amount of volume in that offense. Like even without Ben Johnson, I don't think that's going to change.
I think he gets more volume without Ben
Yeah,
Johnson. I don't think
I
they're going to commit to the run as much. Like Ben Johnson would like bang his head against the wall to run the football.
yeah, and they do like the weird like trick plays, and like Jameson Williams is throwing the football. Like I don't think they're going to be doing any of that. So, um, I think Amon-Ra could do it, but that's been my viewpoint for like 2 straight years. So, if I have to pick someone close in that range, because I really feel like it's still, if it's not Chase or JJ, because I very rarely am I going to go off of the previous season and say like Jamar Chase is going to repeat as the wide receiver 1 or CeeDee Lamb's going to repeat. It's just almost impossible. So I don't think it's going to be Chase. I know that might sound crazy to say, but I just think statistically it's more likely that he's not the wide receiver 1 last year or this year. So, um, I don't know. I could see Lamb having a really big year though if Dak is back and fully healthy and all that. Could see Puka having a huge year. A lot of people like Puka in that kind of conversation. So I don't know. Let us know in the chat. Who do you guys think could be wide receiver 1 this season? Who is not named Jamar Chase? All right. Let me get ready for this next draft pick.
That's right.
I love Jacoby Myers in this range.
That's who I wanted. I really wanted Jacoby Myers. Right
I also
there.
like Jaden Reed in this range. Good picks, Michael and Pete. I do not like Brandon Ayuk right here.
Mm-mm.
I just feel like whoever picks Brandon Ayuk is going to end up having
Bad
whatever
time.
whatever happened
It's a
last year.
bad time.
Yeah.
It's a bad time.
I mean, when's he going to be ready? Like he got hurt in week 7. I don't know how long an ACL takes. I should probably know that.
Uh, you're probably looking at
He could be.
16 months, 100%.
I don't like this pick, but like I still think early on Jalen Warren's going to get the most touches in that offense. And he could easily lose all of them to Caleb Johnson, but I don't care if it's a reach. I don't want to lose Rachaad White, so I'm taking him. There's my 0 RB room: Monty, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Rachaad White. All right. Reason why they said goodbye to Ingram. Strange's number 2 draft pick. Yeah, and Strange had some good flashes last year, for sure. And yeah, the Broncos also offered him a lot of money. Hurts at 7.2 is a steal of the draft, says Cameron. Those are great value. Good for Pete, bad for everyone else. They say Marvin Harrison showed up heavy and slow for camp. Guess he wants to win more contested catches. I thought he looked buff. I thought he was looking swole.
That's not good because he was horrible at separation last year.
Yeah, I guess like if any position you want them to be slimmer, it's probably wide receiver and corner. Maybe some guys be good for them to. But like I saw his most recent interview or whatever, and he did look bigger, but I don't think he looked like fatter. But we'll see. Marvin Harrison Jr. So I mean, like he fell to the 3-5 tonight. Usually he's going a little bit closer, like end of the second. I feel like Waddle for wide receiver once Tyreek has completed his Antonio Brown career arc. There's an idea. I just, man, I don't know if I'm there with Waddle.
I can't even get behind Waddle as a wide receiver too, guys. He's terrible. He's always bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like was so high on Waddle as a rookie. Loved him going into sophomore season. And I'm sure I liked him going into 2023 because the sample size from this first 2 years were great. And that whole like Tua to Waddle like connection was like such a thing. But I think I just overdrafted Waddle like so much the last 2 years. I don't think I think I drafted him when appropriate last year, but the year before got a lot of Waddle on a lot of teams, and it's just been rough.
Yeah. Wide
Rough the
receiver
last 2 years.
46 in PPR last year. Like, that's
Yeah.
not good enough.
34 the year before. Started to, he missed
13.
more games the past 2 years. I mean, Tua was hurt in that stretch too, but it just feels like Waddle kind of falls in that category of players of like, there's a lot of weeks where they're starting and you're nervous to even start them because like, do you actually trust that they're fully healthy, So
2 touchdowns last year. Yikes.
yeah. I think Katz was being sarcastic anyways, but for the sake of argument.
I mean, Tyreek Hill is going for that Antonio Brown career arc. That is
Sure. Do you think JSN for Seattle could break out? Well, I think he already broke out last season. And he had wide receiver one, not the wide receiver one, but wide receiver one numbers. He was the wide receiver 9 in fantasy last year. So like, could he take another step forward? Absolutely. Is Sam Darnold going to be capable of helping him accomplish that? I mean, sure.
probably.
Sure. JJ was the wide receiver 2 last year in fantasy. So, Cooper Cup's hanging around. He'll get some volume. I think they're going to be a run first team though. And I don't really know. Like, it's tough to get a read on what the Seahawks are actually going to be next year offensively.
They're going to be the 2018 Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
Look like.
it's obvious that JSN is going to be the focal point, unless the run game is, which I think could happen too. But yeah, I would say he broke out last year. 8 to 12 months for ACLs. His was multi ligament, so closer to 12. Yeah.
And that's like back. That's not like 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like, because I still think that in theory Ayuk could be a good value where he's being drafted, but I'm the kind of guy I don't really like to draft a lot of the players who are like maybe if you can throw them on IR to start the season, like Hawkinson was an example last year. Like you could draft him, throw him on IR, and it felt really smart when he did it. But I don't know. I try not to have that as part of my strategy. Like I've got this sleeper player that is going to be unleashed week 7. Spend a 9th round draft pick on them. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s rookie season sure was interesting. Andrea, good to see you. Hello.
Every other touchdown. He had every other touchdown stretch for like 8 weeks there.
That was annoying. Very annoying.
But it was consistent. Like if you got on the trade, you knew what week to play him and what week to sit him.
Yeah, it was week 7, no touchdown. Week 8, touchdown. Week 9, no touchdown. Week 10, touchdown. Week 12, no touchdown. Week 11 was a bye week. Week 13, touchdown. Then he didn't score the rest of the season.
Yeah.
and he had that like really good streak for 3 weeks against the Rams, the Lions, and the Commanders, who were all playing very poorly at that time in the season in terms of their secondary, where
Mhm.
he had 4 touchdowns in that stretch. So it felt like you couldn't bench him, and then he had 5.6 or less fantasy points the next 2 weeks. So a lot of up and down. All right, I need to draft a receiver, I guess. I kind of do like Tajay Spears in the 10th.
I did too. Rip. That's twice. That's twice. Uh,
Mike is very good at sniping.
yeah. Let's go with the legend though.
I like Austin Eckler as a late round pick right now. A lot.
Especially with my running backs. I don't really need running backs.
You know what? Just give me Jalen McMillan.
That's a good one.
Chris Godwin's gonna get hurt or something. Do I want to go tight end? Yeah, let's go. Let's go true zero quarterback tonight. Last pick of the draft is going to be a QB. Dalton Kincaid or Tucker Kraft?
Hmm.
Tucker Kraft was another player. Like it was
So,
terrifying. So if he didn't score a touchdown, like he didn't have a good game. I just don't know if I can do Dalton Kincaid.
after it burned you last year.
Yeah, I was pretty high on Kincaid last year. Let's go. Let's go Kraft. Almost back to back Bills right there, but not.
A little Bills. Need a little Bills offense. I think the
Yeah.
Bills are going to be good again.
Cameron says starting RB for the Jags, the 10.2. I like Tootin quite a bit. Be nice if they would just trade ETN already, but I don't think anyone wants to trade for him.
They do not.
Prescott comeback this year, his best wide receiver core so far, being overlooked. He's had a few top 5 quarterback seasons. He has one bad season. Nobody wants him. Yeah, and I talked about this on Saturday night stream because I drafted Prescott in the underdog draft, and you know, I do think that Dak is a really good value, especially if you're going like for a late round quarterback, because we're one season removed from him being the quarterback 3, and they had a really like easy schedule that year, and the Eagles secondary was awful, and the Commanders secondary was awful in 2023.
And the Giants secondary was probably also awful.
Yeah, it was like better than those 2 teams, but literally the Eagles, the Commanders were the last 2 in the league in terms of fantasy points allowed to receivers in 2023. And the Cowboys were like lighting up bad teams and then losing to good teams in 2023 and then lost to the Packers playoffs, right?
Yes.
But Dak was like an MVP candidate in 2023, you know? And it wasn't great last year when he was healthy, but then obviously, you know, he didn't play past week 9. So I do agree with the sentiment that, you know, like when you look at Dak's career, 2019, over 4,000 passing yards, QB2 in fantasy. 2020, injured. 2021, over 4,000 passing yards, over 35 passing touchdowns, QB8. 2022, missed some time. 2023, QB3, 4,500 passing yards, 36 passing touchdowns. Last year, missed some time. So if you go by that analysis, he should have a good season this year.
I think the worry is though the offensive line is worse.
Yeah.
The run game is non-existent, and their head coach, like everyone thinks their head coach is pretty bad. Like they think he's a terrible head coach, terrible play caller.
I'm not gonna
They
lie.
we
I
they don't know
literally
what we're gonna get from the
I
offense.
still think of the Cowboys as having Mike McCarthy as their head coach.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's a problem.
but yeah, I mean, sometimes bad offensive line can be good in a sense, at least if it's a bad run blocking offensive line, like the Bengals last year. Like, you know, puts them in a position where they need to throw. Um, But yeah, we'll see what happens. He's got weapons, except in the run game. But Lamb, Pickens, Ferguson, not bad. All right. No Dak Prescott for me. Let's just go CJ Stroud.
Very safe. Very safe.
Reverse. I don't think you were kicked. I do like a late round Rashad Bateman. I do think he's the number 2, not Hopkins.
Definitely.
Nico. Sorry, there's a full draft board. The 1.12.
Last.
That's right. CJ Stroud is QB1 this year. All right. We'll skip me and Pete. We'll go down the list here. Come back to me and Pete at the end. All right. Thank you guys for drafting. Oh, I should have won Fields. My bad. You're right. All right, Mike. What's up, bro? We got Purdy and McCarthy. I like it. Kittle. Michael, I feel like you always aggressively draft Niners players. Bijan, JT, Chase Brown, Spears. I'm okay with that. Olave, Waddle, Godwin, Myers, Cup. This team would have been like crazy like 2 years ago. This feels like literally the most Michael team I've ever seen. Purdy, Kittle, Bijan, JT. I guess you're starting Olave and Waddle or Olave and Godwin, flexing Chase Brown, then flexing one of the other receivers. I mean, I think Jacoby Myers would probably be a flex for you. I like this team, though. It's good. Solid squad. I don't mind going double quarterback, but maybe just due to like some of the injury history, some of these receivers, I would have gone with another receiver, but like who's really there to draft? I don't know off the top of my head. So it's a good team. All right, Cats is up next. Just let me know if you guys want a team review. We'll do it that way. Cats back on the T-Law train. Let's go.
Legend.
Evan Ingram. Not to be confused with Evan Ingram of the Jaguars. Evan Ingram of the Broncos. Gibbs, C-Mac, Mixon, Hampton. I like that a lot. Only team to go 4 running backs out the gate. Worthy, J-Mo, Ridley, Pearsall, Pittman, Bateman. Some good values at receiver here. A lot of upside in Worthy and J-Mo. And I don't mind Ridley in the 7th. Pearsall could have value. Kind of like Pittman in the 10th. I don't mind Bateman in the 11th. So you're missing like that true like number 1 consistent option, but your upside comes from running back here. So starting T-Law, Ingram, Gibbs, C-Mac, Worthy, J-Mo. You might be flexing Mixon and Hampton, but could also flex Ridley or any of the other receivers. So I like this team, especially for going aggressive at running back early. So I'll take it. All right, Cameron, the 111. All right. Josh Allen, Brock Bowers. Nothing to discuss there. Genty, Johnson, Tootin, Blue, all rookies, and Isaac Garanda. Listen, Cameron does his thing. I'm not going to combat it. McLaurin, McMillan, Hunter, Jennings, Mooney. I mean, I'm fine with it. A lot of investment to rookies, which could pay off. Could also have growing pains and consistency. Hard to say this early. To be starting Allen, Bowers, Genty, Caleb Johnson, or Tootin. That's just always the thing that makes me concerned. Like, like obviously week 1, Genty's going to get his, right? But that's kind of tough, like early in the season, if some of those rookie running backs like take some time in their respective offenses or just don't get the touches right out of the gate. Like obviously you can make adjustments between trades and the waiver wire, but that's what worries me more than anything about this strategy. But you're starting Terry McLaurin, sorry. Then I guess McMillan. Maybe Travis Hunter, Jennings there, Mooney. It's just an interesting strategy. I mean, like you have like so much solidified at quarterback and tight end and your RB1. McLaurin's fine as a wide receiver 1. It's just about filling in the pieces as the season goes on that gets interesting here. But like I said, you've got your strat, and I respect it. J Dubs, what's up, homie? Caleb Williams, his new rookie tight end in Loveland, and Dalton Kincaid. It's good enough. James Cook, Trayvon Henderson, Quinton Judkins, Vikings legend, Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason.
I'm okay with that. Once again, you got a lot of investment to rookie running backs there. Nico London Evans, really like that start. And then, 2 rookie wide receivers in Golden and Kyle Williams, too. Once again, like, it's okay if you want to draft a lot of rookies, but in redraft, I always get a little leery of having too much rookie presence in case things don't work out. But it could pay off in a big way, too. So starting Caleb and then one of the 2 tight ends, Cook, and I'm going to say whatever running back you want there. It's hard to say week 1, like what touches Jordan Mason's going to get, what touches Judkins or Henderson's going to get. But assume that Henderson and Judkins are the running backs getting the most touches, but you never know. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson is a player, so Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason will be interesting. And then you're starting Nico, Drake London, Mike Evans, flexing whoever's left. So it could work. All right, Trev, what's going on, man, at the 1-8? Mahomes and Prescott. It'll work. Tyler Warren. I mean, I feel like with tight ends, it might be a little bit different. I'm not as worried, but you also never know. The rookie tight end. And Warren should be that guy. Jacobs, Walker, Harvey, Charbonnet, Javonte. Not bad. Neighbors, Rice, Debo, and Igbuka. So I probably would have had Charbs as my last running back and gone with another receiver over Javonte, or just not drafted Prescott and gone with a receiver there. But I think having Dak and Mahomes is fine. So I probably would have just scratched Javonte because 4 wide receivers makes me a little nervous in a double flex setting. So nonetheless, starting Mahomes or Prescott, Warren, Jacobs, Walker, Neighbors, Rice, Debo, Harvey in the flex. Not bad. Good depth at running back. I do like Igbuka or McMillan late in redraft right now. Might not have a ton of value right away, but I think as the season goes on, they will. So, not bad. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, probably shouldn't be too scared of Ramondre, J-Dubs. But I just think with some of these like backfields that we're expecting the rookies to completely take over, a lot of times we're disappointed when week 1 happens and guys like Ramondre Stevenson are still getting touches, Jalen Warren's still getting touches over Caleb Johnson and stuff like that. Judkins going to have a bigger role than Henderson week 1. I can see that too, for sure. All right. Pete, what we do tonight? Hurts and Kelsey. It's fine. I like Kelsey where he's going in drafts. So I have no problem with taking him there. Hurts was a great value. Barkley and Bucky to start. Very nice. For kind of going like double hero running back, I like Pacheco in the 6th. And I really like Eckler in the 10th. So I'm good with that. Higgins, Flowers, Sutton, Reed, Coleman, Kirk. This is a good little team.
I'm very happy with this team.
You've got a lot of like the players I usually talk about in the offseason. Sutton, Pacheco, even Flowers. But yeah, this is a good team. Start Hurts and Kelsey, Barkley and Bucky, Higgins, Flowers, Sutton, Reed. You can flex on the running backs. Coleman and Kirk feel like good bench options right now. So not a lot to complain about. I really like Jaden Reed where he's going in drafts. Jada's asked, where are we at with Pacheco? Yeah, I've gone kind of back and forth these past couple of weeks, but you know, I'm starting to be okay with Isaiah Pacheco in the 6th because I think a lot of the negative we saw last year was just purely due to him being hurt. So Kareem Hunt is there, but other than that, I think they're going to try and get Pacheco rolling again in that offense. So, if you look at that range, like Pacheco, Najee, Brian Robinson, Aaron Jones, like I'm okay with all those guys because you're not spending a lot of draft capital on them. I like DeAndre Swift the most out of that bunch, but I feel like in some drafts he's going a little bit earlier. So we'll see. But I think all those guys are okay. All right, what did I do tonight? Aggro wide receiver, 0 running back, late round quarterback, and tight end. So Stroud, Kraft. Could have gone Kincaid over Kraft. Went with Kraft. Stroud, final pick of the draft. Monty, Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Rashad White. I mean, you go 0 running back, this is what you might end up with. We got Chase, JSN, Wilson, Devonta, and Jalen McMillan. I mean, he's tied to a great offense. Had a lot of great flashes last year. Godwin's going to be back. Evans going to be healthy to start the season. Was healthy to end the season. Just had that hamstring thing in the middle of the season. And obviously they went out and drafted Ibuka as well. Kate Otten's still there. Rashad White, Bucky Irving. And there's a lot of mouths to feed, but part of a good offense, so I'll take him there. So yeah, I'd have Stroud, Kraft, Monty, and whichever running back I want to throw in here. So RB2, then Chase, JSN, Wilson, Devonta. So I actually like this team, but it's worth pointing out we had some bumps and bruises in this draft. 2 teams left, so some teams might be a little bit elevated because of that. But nonetheless, good stream, good mock. Is Reed actually going to be a wide receiver 1 now? Or are they going to use all 4? I do think that Reed is going to see very similar volume to what he had last year. I'm not worried about him personally. And then I think they want Golden to get the second most targets in terms of wide receivers on the team. But I think Dobbs will still be pretty involved. I think Wicks could be at times. I think Watson's the one who scares me the most. So, yeah, I think they will use like all wide receivers, but I think they want to run the football first and foremost. So we'll see. Yeah, Pacheco was really good the first 2 weeks of the season before he was hurt. That's a good point. They did pay Mitchell too. O-line has issues. We'll see. But like I said, like he's going so late that it just doesn't really bother me if you want to take a chance on him. All right, guys. I'm glad I made it on. Fought through the sickness. And good stream overall. Good mock overall. Thoughts of me drafting Murray or Fields rounds 8 through 10? Well, it's hard to say if you're going to need to draft them that early. In a redraft format, I don't think you need to go that early. But then again, like we're early in the off season, and quarterbacks will go a little bit earlier than they're going right now. So I like Kyler a bit more, but I still think Fields going to be very fantasy relevant this year for sure. Yeah, late round quarterback can never hurt. Pacheco's the best runner ever, Cats. Don't you even dare. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I'm sorry my voice is leaving me again, so we'll go ahead and bounce off. Pete, I'll let you say bye, and we'll get on out of here.
All right, great stream as always, guys. Getting into it, heading into the summer, all sorts of news and speculation. But yeah, it's good. It's probably my best mock I'm gonna have all off season. So
Yeah.
enjoying it while I have it.
Remember this one, May 20th.
Mock 1 for me.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting closer. We're almost to June, and I don't know when training camp starts, but
End of July.
I'm about to say usually end of July. So we're almost there. We'll be there sooner than you guys know. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for mocking. We'll be back next week at some point. So just stay tuned, and everyone have a great night. With that, we'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And